Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 science fiction anthology film Armageddon Tales. Now this has several directors and lots of different actors, and I'm not going to go through and list all of them because it would take too long in an anthology type movie. And what we get here is three science fiction tales, and they're all based on the Armageddon, and it feels like they're all set in the same universe, if you like. It's three different tales from three different perspectives, if you like, but they all exist in the same world, if that makes sense. Now the first one is based in Germany in 2031. Now the only hint we're given as to what this Armageddon event was, I suppose, is in the third tale. I think it is. They hint that a solar storm took place some years previously. I think 7 years previously or something like that. Could have been before that. I might have misheard. That kind of ended everything, that caused this apocalyptic event to take place on the Earth. So I'm presuming that is for all three tales, because they all felt like, you know, they were in similar situations, but I could be wrong. It could be three different Armageddon tales about three different Armageddon events. It doesn't really make that specifically clear. Right, so the first story is set in Germany in 2031. There is a scavenger, basically, who spends his days searching for supplies, water, food, things like that, and he is very aware that there is some kind of creature out there that is hunting him, and he's got like this radioactive device that goes off whenever it's near, so it kind of gives him some warning. So, you know, he then meets another guy who's similar situation to him. He's a scavenger. They decide to team up to head off to find water and things like that. They kind of clash. They kind of end up getting on eventually, and they do end up having another run-in with this creature that is stalking them. Now in regards to this tale, it's my favourite one of the three. I'll be very honest. I thought the CGI or whatever effects they put in front of us were pretty good. There's like a great matte painting that I thought looked pretty effective. Cinematography was fairly impressive here. It felt derelict. It felt almost like a live-action version of the Fallout games. If you've ever played the Fallout games, you know, spending the days scavenging, you know, these broken down buildings and things like that. And I thought the real sense of dread and fear when this creature was around was very well told in this tale, and the look of sheer fear and panic on the actors' faces was very good. And what you did see of this creature, you couldn't work out what it was. Was it extraterrestrial? Was it something mutated from something else? No idea. It doesn't explain it, but you're bloody scared of it. So I really enjoyed this tale, and I would have been very interested to see a full feature film based around this kind of tale. And I thought the performances were excellent too by the two guys in the leads. The second tale was set in Canada in 2036. I think that's right. And it's a young German girl who has got this disease, and the people that haven't got it call them scabs. And basically they end up eventually turning into like zombie type creatures. So if you don't take like these meds to repress it, sort of thing, then you will eventually turn into like a zombified creature. So she teams up with this guy who initially isn't fond of scabs, but he becomes quite a father figure to her, and they end up like roaming the wasteland together, if you like, trying to search out for meds to try and keep her alive and safe. I thought this tale was okay, and I warmed to this tale a little bit, because at the beginning of it I wasn't sure about the acting. The little girl, initially I wasn't sure about her acting, but I think it was more to do with the fact that she was German and she was like speaking in English, so it kind of stilted the performance a little bit. The guy, who's Canadian, I'm guessing, wasn't much better in regards to his acting, but the story was interesting, you know, them trying to keep on the run away from these zombified creatures, and the idea was good. It was almost like, you know, the film Cargo to some degree, you know, the Martin Freeman film, where she had this thing and she was going to turn eventually. So it was a little bit like that. So it was a decent story. And the third story was these scavengers again looking for supplies, and they stumble across this guy who has this underground shelter that he takes them to. Is a little bit weird, is a little bit out there, is clearly gone a bit mad. And he's like sitting on this energy. He's got this fusion generator that would basically it would give energy to a city almost. It's that strong and powerful, and he's just basically powering his underground bunker, and these scavengers want this generator. So there's kind of a battle of wits between the three of them. Clearly he's a bit unhinged, and they are desperate to get this generator, so you can guess really how that kind of plays out. It was probably my least favourite story, the third one, but that's not to say it wasn't done in quite decently. The performances I thought here were all quite strong. The concept was quite strong again. What you would do, what would you do if people relied on you to get these supplies, and and you come across this generator that only one man is using that could and give energy to your camp for 20, 30 years or however long it could be. So what would you do in that situation? So it was a good, interesting story as well, and that was the Three Tales. Overall, as an anthology film, I thought it was strong. Some anthology films put too many stories in them, so they lose focus, whereas you just get 3 stories here, and they all have interesting things to say, and they're all decent performances, decent effects, and you certainly get that apocalyptic feel to the movies. So as an anthology film, it's okay. Yes, it's low budget. Yes, I think somebody watching this expecting like a high production values might be disappointed with it, but I think for the budget that they had, they've done the best they can and put it all on screen, and I'm actually going to give this one a 6 out of 10. I thought it was a little bit above average. So if you're a fan of sci-fi, you're a fan of anthology films, this might be one to try out. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you liked the review, and I hope you found it useful. I will be back with more reviews and content on Screen Stars very, very soon.